Each year around this time, thousands who follow equestrian sports top events make their way to Kentucky for the world-renowned Rolex Kentucky 3-day event. The sport's best horses and riders battle for championship titles and share spots on Olympic and World Championship teams. Did you realize all of this takes place in your own backyard? Yes, since 1978's World Championships were held here in Kentucky, Kentucky's Horse Park has been a bucket list destination for many equestrian fans. It all began when an unexpected opportunity to host equestrian sports premier championship coincided with a plan to build an unprecedented facility in the heart of horse country, the Kentucky Horse Park. It was 1970 when the Kentucky legislator and Governor Louis Nunn approved the creation of the Kentucky Horse Park, a new facility in Lexington dedicated to the horse and horse sports. Meanwhile, in 1974, the U.S. equestrian team won individual and team gold medals at the 3-day World Championships in Burghley, England. This win gave the U.S. the right to host the next World Championships 4 years later. The success of the 1978 World Championships at Kentucky Horse Park left everyone hungry for more. With more than 170,000 attendees, more than $4 million added to Kentucky's economy, worldwide television including a national telecast on CBS, there is no doubt this would not be a one-time event. If the World Championships could not come back to Kentucky every year, then a new event, a child of the championships, would. A 4-star event, which is the highest for that sport, contested only at the Olympic Games and World Championships, and at only 6 events throughout the world on an annual basis.
You know, the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event's been held at the Kentucky Horse Park since 1978. In 1978, we had the first World Championships to be held in the States. Rolex Watch came on as our title sponsor in 1981. So we have a long history here in Central Kentucky and also with Kentucky Horse Park. So for us, we bring in an audience largely from outside the state of Kentucky. This year we'll have over 80,000 attendees at the event. 80% of those come from outside the state, not outside of Lexington, not outside of Georgetown and Scott County, but outside the state of Kentucky. So we are an economic generator. We are a major tourism event for the state of Kentucky. In 2013, we did an economic impact study, and the economic impact of our event, which is 4 days, was $14.2 million. So again, that's significant for our community. It's significant for our state to have this in our area. But the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event is what's known as a 4-star event, and there are only 6 in the world that are at this caliber. The other events, if you want to compete at this level, 2 are in England, 1 is in France, 1 is in Germany, 1 is in Australia, and then you have us here in Kentucky. So we're the only event at this level in the Western Hemisphere, and so it makes us quite unique for this area.
So how can a 3-day event take a whole year to plan, you might ask? Well, a lot goes into planning a world-class event.
So planning for the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event takes a full year. We work year-round for this one event, and we spend a lot of time looking at the small things, looking at the details. We focus on what is the experience that we're providing our guests and our patrons to make sure that they want to come back year after year after year. And so we do things with tents, with food and beverage. We have to bring in temporary power. We have to secure sponsors. We have to secure exhibitors, officials. There's a lot of moving pieces and parts. And I'm fortunate. I work with a lot of great staff on a day-to-day basis that put the event together. Likewise, we depend upon roughly 2,000 volunteers to help us run the event. It's not something that we can do by ourselves. So we've got to do a lot of coordination. There's a lot of moving pieces and moving parts in order to make the event a success.
Not to be forgotten are the logistics of planning all the courses. Each discipline requires judges, facilities, decoration of facilities, and new courses each year. Some of the jumps are reused, but the courses are never the same. Registration of horses and riders must be taken care of, along with including quarantine for horses arriving from outside the U.S. and their ultimate arrival at the horse park. Planning of the event ranges from food and entertainment and sponsor tents, events such as the Hunter Hayes concert this year, the 5K run prior to the event, singers for the national anthem, and entertainers between events, and planning of the opening and closing parties.
The Rolex Kentucky 3-day event is in the sport of eventing. In eventing, you have 3 different disciplines. Quite honestly, it's the triathlon of the equestrian sport. You've got dressage, cross country, and stadium jumping. And so for the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event, the same horse and the same rider will participate in all 3 disciplines. So for us, on Thursday and Friday we have dressage, on Saturday we have cross country, and on Sunday it's stadium jumping. Dressage is a very technical sport. In that discipline, in that sport, the rider and the horse don't speak. There's no verbal communication, it's all nonverbal. And in cross country, the horse and rider will jump 28 obstacles over the course of about 4 miles. They'll have to do that in about 11-minute time frame, and it really demonstrates the power and the strength of the animal. And then stadium jumping is the culmination of our event. It happens in the stadium. It's on a much quicker time, but it's where we award our winner. So the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event is a great event for the family. There's something for everyone. We've really tried again to focus on the experience to make sure that even if you don't know anything about the sport, that you can come and enjoy your time there. So over the last few years, we've added a 5K. The first 5K was held in 2015, and we have had over 800 runners participate with us. On Saturday, which is the cross-country day, which if you can only come one day, that's the day to come. We've introduced tailgating, which has been a tremendous success. We also have this year in concert Hunter Hayes. Hunter Hayes is a 5-time Grammy-nominated artist. And so again, we've done things that are outside the sport, outside of the equestrian community, to again try to attract a new and different audience. And it really is a family event for everyone.
As you can see, it takes a lot of organization to pull off a world-class event. So what makes the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event so special? Some will say it's the world-class competition and the chances to see the sport's biggest stars from the world's leading equestrian powers. Others will say it's the pomp and splendor of the pageantry of each event. But most likely, it's all of those things combined. The lure is the overall Rolex Kentucky experience, set in the beautiful bluegrass.